Have you noticed that former Snow White star Rachel Zegler is nowhere to be found in Hollywood these days? Not an article, not a peep, not a squeak. She's scrubbed from social media? Well, now we know the reason. It turns out that Rachel Zegler lost Disney even more money than we were reporting just a year ago. And how low can she go? Well, today we'll tell you a new report from Forbes that we've tracked down. It turns out she may have cost the House of Mouse more than $300 million. It's a great day, folks. Every time you come our way, welcome back to the studio in somewhere sunny USA, where we're glistening as you're listening to what we have to say. What a wonderful time to spend together. Let's get at it. Talking about why Rachel Zegler may never work in Hollyweird again. As we do so, click the like button, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Make the dream to stream come true. Folks, we now know the real reason that Rachel Zegler has been exited from Hollywood. Have you noticed Rachel's not around anymore? No big movies, no big shows. Rachel's just gone? Well, let me just say she cost a lot to the Mouse, and they're not happy. And I'm going to say Rachel is on the do not hire list. I don't know that officially, but I think you'll agree with me after we read this one. From Marvin, Montenaro, Disney Snow White flop exposed. Rachel Zegler controversy, ballooning budget, and box office collapse cost studio $170 million. But Marvin, that's not all.
Oh, no, we go into it.
Here we go. It says, according to a new report from Forbes star contributor Caroline Reed, we love Caroline. The studio's controversial remake didn't just underperform, it cratered after ballooning production costs, weak box office returns, and mounting controversy surrounding its lead star. The Snow White flop has resulted in an estimated $170 million loss for Disney, but from the theatrical revenue alone. What happens when Marvin applies the marketing budget as well? Marvin, it says here $336 million and a half, $6.5 million on a production cost. When we add in the advertising, when we add in everything, Marvin, how much money did this thing lose? How much did Rachel Zegler cost the Walt Disney Company?
So now we have to take this into account because they did receive a tax credit of about $64.9 million. So that puts the total expenditure on just the production still at a whopping $271.6 million.
Whoa.
When you consider that the theatrical run made $205.7 million and that Disney gets only a percentage of that, it starts to look very dire. Caroline says that from theatrical alone, we're looking at a loss of $160 to $170 million.
160. How much do they spend on marketing on this thing? Do we know?
Now, marketing, we are estimating marketing spend of about $100 to $150 million. So tack an extra $100 to $150 million on top of that, Pro, and you have got a total loss expenditure here that exceeds $250 million.
And on the high end, if they spent $150 million on the marketing, we're over $300 million. Is that correct?
Potentially over $300 million lost from this movie, yeah.
Jonas, you did some work on this as well, I believe. Explain to us, sir, just how bad is it to lose $300 million on a movie? Like, where does this stand in the pantheon of flops and panned films with audiences?
Well, when you decide to make a movie, usually the aim is to make money. And
oh, come on now. You and your capitalism.
At Disney, it's actually not the goal to make money. It's a funny thing. And that's the thing that our audience is familiar with, but people outside of our audience may not know that the purpose of making movies at the Disney company is to do two things. One is to produce headlines that Wall Street will find attractive and feed into the flywheel.
Here you go, theory crafting again.
Well, this is a division that's never really made money for the company. Everything here is to invest in brands in order to provide for the flywheel. Now, that being said, the straight revenue of a film would usually be an indication of a brand that people are interested in. But when it comes to Disney, they're taking brands that people are interested in and then making movies about them that either make them that seem to be marketed on the idea that those brands are actually a problem. So in this one, we obviously have, she's not going to be rescued by the prince anymore. She's not going to be romantically interested in the prince. By the way, we're not singing any of the great songs from the film other than the ones that remove all idea of romance. I think that left maybe one song. Was that Whistle While You Work?
It was Whistle While You Work.
And Hi Ho. I think the problem is with all of this is they want to live by their progressive market. By the way, that's not a bad bag of coffee, right? Joffrey's blends are good.
After what you said about her before, we're all worried where you're going with that one.
No, that's I was talking. She's a different kind of bag than the coffee bag.
Boy. Oh my.
The thing that I really just
Bizarro Jonas.
Sorry, it's been a day. Rachel Zegler went out there and said everything that they primed her to say, but the problem is she has no filter, so she didn't stop short. She went with the transgressive, your traditions, your culture, this movie are all wrong. And then she also decided to discuss a geopolitical conflict that had nothing to do with the movie and everything to do with her co-star being of that nationality. And also then going into it, it is one of the greatest marketing disasters that any film could ever have, and its name is Rachel Zegler. So
look at this,
and yet,
followed by Jonas J. Campbell and Drunk 3PO.
Yeah, of all the people, followed by you and Jay. What's going on here, man?
I got to get the latest. I got to find out.
Well, let's find out.
Who's
the latest
today.
The latest is she hasn't posted since 2024. Remember when they shut her down on social media and said no more? Rachel Zegler has disappeared. The last time, and look. From 2024. I didn't even know this. This is happening live. She says, always remember, free a place in the Middle East. And then nothing. Silence. Total silence from Rachel Zegler. I'm going to go like this now. There we go. Not because I agree with it, but because I love the idea of that being the end of Rachel Zegler. It really was.
I think I'd be careful liking that one. You might.
Okay. Well, unlike it.
Some funky tweets on that one.
I'm just liking that. I'm just liking that was the end of her. Okay. The demise of her. So Rachel Zegler, she's done. She's out at Hollywood, losing Disney perhaps more than $300 million. Mo, none of the mainstream media want to talk about this, but they took a part in destroying this woman because they led her to the water and she did drink.
Yes, and it was horrendous. I've only seen clips of the movie because I wanted to save my sanity. All of which I used on the Bad Bunny halftime show. Whatever remained. But yeah, no, it was just like, I'm glad. I mean, the fact that they went along with her, did that dog and pony show for as long as they did with all of her, destruction of that. But here's the other thing besides that is the fact that they did Snow White so dirty because, as we all know, it's what kicked off the Walt Disney legacy. It was the chance that he took to get that animated movie out, and then they just ruined it, and she just destroyed the entire it seemed poetic the way that she destroyed it.
Hey Mo, let me hand you something here, and you see if you agree with me. She was 2024's Bad Bunny, because look at this. She was the People's Choice Award. She didn't do anything. Golden Globe winner. She didn't do anything. If we go over to here, you get more pictures of her. She didn't do anything. They were promoting the way she was acting, and then when it destroyed her, they all went to something else. Now they're on Bad Bunny. He'll get destroyed too. This is how they work, Mo. This is how they work.
Yeah, no, I would say that they pushed real hard, and they made her seem like she was more amazing than a nepo freaking theater kid, But I'm just so glad it's behind us. It makes me so glad that she's irrelevant right now. That's one thing that I can enjoy. I don't want to tear down the old dinosaur, but this dinosaur getting torn down is okay with me.
Ron, talk about this $300 million dino that really stuck it to Disney.
All I can say is he has made Brie Larson relevant in a good way again. I mean, I remember when, and it's been a while, since Brie was, sticking her foot in her mouth. Let's just put it that way. And now Rachel, of course, she's now disappeared from the public zeitgeist almost completely. Like you never really hear anything about her anymore. What she's doing, what's coming up. I'm assuming that she still has some type of work somewhere, but she has kind of made it possible for Miss Larson to revamp what people think about her, and now she's going to be in the new Mario movie, and it's it's kind of exciting. It's a roller coaster ride in Hollywood, right? You get on the wrong car and then you ride it, and then you're downhill, and they eat you up. The problem with Rachel Zegler is that on top of her mouth that constantly got her into trouble is that she wasn't the talent that they made her believe that she was. I really think that maybe it was the age, I don't know what it was, but I think that she actually fed into like this ego trip that she was the talent that everyone was telling her that she was. And when I was in high school, when I was in drama class, my high school drama teacher said, Ron, no matter what happens to you, if you become really famous, let's say you go out there, you become an actor, you become really famous, she said, the biggest piece of advice that I can ever give you is whatever anybody writes about you, don't believe it, especially if it's good. And I think that's where Rachel Zegler went. She believed everything about her that was good, and she got this huge ego, and every single thing she did and was in ended up becoming a flop, with Snow White being the icing on the cake of flop of all flops, because it showcased just how bad that she was. And that, like, when I watched Snow White, the problem that like I never saw it in the movie theater. I had to wait until it was on streaming, and then I finally sat down and watched it, and I'm like, they really did this movie dirty. Like, the whole thing, it wasn't just her, it was actually the whole story of the movie and everything, but she showcased it, and all you could think of was how many different better people they could have cast for Snow White. And then, of course, how much of a better story they could have done if they would have simply honored Walt's original vision. And boy, it's just, it is what it is. Hollywood eats them up and spits it out.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this might be the last time we ever cover Rachel Zegler. I don't know, but she might be gone away for good this time. Rachel, we hope you turn things around. We're not wishing you ill, but you dined at the swill of Hollywood, and they led you to a buffet of doom. That's one way to end it. Rachel, here's to you. Turn it around, kid. If Brie Larson can, so can you. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.